Hey, what's up everybody? Time for another game theory video. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, super chat, super like, whatever. It does help the channel. Support me if you can. I'm naked, so I'm not going to get on camera, so we're just going to do that picture right there. Today, we're going to do another installment of something I haven't done in a while, of talking about the fairy tale game of Alpha 2 and why it's actually a badly designed game. And again, this isn't to say the game isn't cool, but it's a bad fucking game. And I've said this before, it's a game that does not hold up to any scrutiny if you know anything about video games and you are capable of having a intelligent conversation, which is few and far between nowadays. But so I'm going to use an example that I haven't given before. Let's use BIRDIE as an example. I'm going to show you something that you might not be aware of, especially if you only listen to idiots in the FGC who tell you that this game is amazing. So I want you to focus on BIRDIE's hurt box here, right? You're just going to jump up right here, sweep, right? Okay. Nothing strange right there. But did you know that when BIRDIE does his stand roundhouse, his sprite actually, even the blue box moves back, right? So watch what happens right here, right? Do my roundhouse, and I try to throw the guy, but guess what? I'm not actually in range to hit the guy. Now let's move over to a game, or watch this again, you can see it. Now let's move over to a game like Alpha 1. And I always use Alpha 1 as a great example because I don't think Alpha 1 is a cool game. But Alpha 1 somehow, in all its ghetto-ness, is a better designed game than Alpha 2, which is why I use it so often as an example. So let's watch something here in Alpha 1, right? Now, if you don't know this in Alpha 1, but Ken's roll trap is one of the most busted things in fighting game history. A character like BIRDIE actually doesn't even have a way out of it, basically, right? Like, even watch this. Even if I try to reversal out of it, I can't get out of it. As a matter of fact, BIRDIE's only way out of this is Bullhead Super. BIRDIE has nothing that can beat Ken's roll trap if you do it perfectly, right? It just beats it. You're screwed. But did you know? Did you see that? Did you see how BIRDIE's stand roundhouse pulls him back a little bit for stuff like this, especially when you're thinking about footsies? Watch it in the corner, right? Wait, Clayton. And he got grabbed? Wait a second, Clayton. Is that really what happened right there? Boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, wait. Is this another example of somehow Alpha 1 is a bigger brain game? As ghetto as Alpha 1 is this another example of somehow that Alpha 1 is a bigger brain game than the almighty Alpha 2? Let's watch some more stuff, right? So we watch this again right here. So when you're in footsies, in Alpha 1, and this is why I've also used examples of like Ryu's stand forward, which somehow just serendipitously work amazingly. I've done full videos dedicated to this. BIRDIE, when you are actually playing footsies with BIRDIE's pokes actually work kind of insanely. Watch this again. What the fuck? And then he gets grabbed. Wait, what? Oh my God, Clayton. Fuck me, daddy. Fuck me. So we have things like this right here. You know, we could be doing overhead, boom, combo after it, sweep, blah, 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 because his overhead is a stand roundhouse that moves him forward a little bit. We also have a little car cancel stuff into it as well, blah, blah, blah. And I want you to look at this again. Do you see? Look at his sprite right here. Look at his sprite. So do you see when BIRDIE does Kara cancel, you see how the blue moved back a little bit? And then he moves forward and he grabs. Do you see how Kara can, and this is something that, I've said this before when you think about stuff like Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 Kara canceling is stuff that people did even back in the old days, Street Fighter 2 days. So even though the community calls it something like Kara canceling, which is very kind of, you know, kind of like Japanese's. Japanese's can't speak English. It's the end of the day. It's kind of like Japanesey pretending to be Japanese or something like that. Obviously, we didn't say car cancels, but there is this sort of stigma sometimes that newer players try to think that, oh, old school players were stupid. But stuff like this was known day one. You know, like stuff like car canceling, we didn't call it car canceling, but the idea of car canceling is like, you know, baby mode, right? We just didn't have all these weird names for things like that, right? So anyway, do you see that Birdie has this idea of being able to car cancel the stand roundhouse into the throw, which moves his hitbox back, which then his throw is still large enough to grab the guy. And it works somehow perfectly for footsies. Yet if you go to a game like Alpha 2, which is supposedly, oh my God, it's one of the most amazing streets. Some people say it's the greatest footsie game ever, which is complete bullshit. But look at this. Again, boom. So I use it to go through it, but guess what? Oh, you mean my grab? I don't actually have range on my grab to do it. And if I get closer, let's watch this again. If I get closer, now my stand roundhouse basically just functions as a hop kick and knocks the guy down, right? And if I even try to go through it from a different, if I get so close and look at these perfectly mixed up hitboxes, and this is assuming, and this is why I say this is so crazy. Look at the placement I did for this just to show you the fucking mental insanity of the Street Fighter Alpha 2 community that will try to tell you that this is the greatest footsie game ever and that every hitbox is perfectly matched. Look at how perfectly I tried to match the duck roundhouse to the stand roundhouse. Now, first of all, this is already forgetting the fact that, well, this is assuming that you would be doing a duck roundhouse this close to Birdie, which why you're obviously not playing footsies correctly if you are this close to Birdie and you're doing the roundhouse this close. But hey, I'm trying to give Alpha 2 players the benefit of a doubt. Even if I do it from this range, guess what? Even if I try to do it from this range, where the overhead can miss him, guess what? The grab isn't fast enough to grab him. It doesn't even work. Whoa! So are you telling me that somehow a ghetto game like Alpha 1 is actually better designed than Street Fighter Alpha 2? And yes, this has been another installment in these videos that I've done throughout the years. Just trying to think of different examples because, again, Alpha 2, complete fairy tale game. Complete fucking fairy tale game, the way that people talk about the game. And, you know, normally I try to focus on characters that I enjoy, but just to show that I have a fairly vast knowledge of fighting games and many characters, just not only the characters that I care about, but as I've said before, I'm someone who actually enjoys the thought of video games and fighting games. I don't only like, so to speak, I can't only appreciate just the characters I play. I appreciate even throw characters, even though I don't care for them. And I think that's something why so many people are actually bad at talking about video games. Not only because are they not intelligent enough to do so, but a lot of people can only see video games from one perspective, the perspective that they enjoy. They can't try to put themselves in the shoes of someone else that might enjoy a play style that they don't. And I think it's one of the reasons that fighting games are so badly designed nowadays. And because you have, you know, there is a precedent lately for bringing in players. And it's definitely true because if you think about a lot of these old school games, you know, there was no quotation marks player to design the original Street Fighter games because it was the originator. And nowadays, when you have people working on games like, you know, Xrd and Strive and Street Fighter 5, you know, Street Fighter 6, you have a lot of players that are now designing the games. And a lot of these players, you can tell that they have a biasness for one play style versus another play style. This isn't to say that the players designing the games are, let's say, bad. I'm not trying to talk about their achievements competitively. but I think you can see that there is a clear biasness towards the way that video games are designed nowadays. And they're not designed with that thing that I've said is so important in video games, that balance in the chaos. Every character should have powerful tools, and then nature should find a way, right? Anyway, remember, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel. I do appreciate it. The end.